welcome to my presentation. This is Min5 Access Assignment B to Kayak Limited, and this is the prototype of my database. First of all, I would like to show you the product and all the other tables that I have. Here you can see the product table. I added an extra table on its own, which was categories. In the Excel file, I made it its own sheet, which made this quite easy. Then there's the suppliers table, purchase invoice lines table. Here I added another column with purchase price including the 21% tax. Also in design view for these two and all the other ones too, all these tables, I had to make sure that the data type was set to date and time or short text or number currency, just so that there would be no mismatch later on, either in expressions or in building reports. Then there's also some forms here. First of all, products with subform of categories. The products form tells you which product it is, and the category then tells you under where it falls and what sales price was and the shipping. Also the purchase invoices, here you can see the first form shows the invoice number and the date and if it was paid, while the invoice line subform then shows the price and product and quantity ordered and received. Then let's go on to the main part, the reports. We had to create 5 reports and all of them were created first to a query, which was then run and made a report. First of all, purchase prices per supplier. This was quite easy to make a report of because there was no real requirement. You just had to group and sort the different data types correctly. And in the end, this is what the report looks like. You see the category, the product, and the supplier, and then what the purchase price was, with and without tax. Furthermore, the next one is non-received goods. For this one, the one criteria we had to put in the query was here. Difference between quantity ordered and quantity received. We only wanted this query to return result where the quantity ordered did not match the quantity received, which shows Kayak Limited exactly which supplier is missing and which if they've paid it or not. Moving on, the cash flow forecast. The query had to have a start date, so let's just put date, and here you can see the return could only be any invoice which has not been paid past a specific date, which returned these 3. And this was made by here, you put start date, putting it in criteria, and only returning invoices which have not been paid. Next, the markup query. Also, the parameter had to be 2014 and 15 as the date. And then we had to make a calculated field in the query to calculate markup, which was made through this formula here. The average of the sales price minus the purchase price divided by the purchase price. And this was then an expression. And under the totals we had to put average and in the format as a percentage. And furthermore we had to exclude paddles and helmets, which was also made as a criteria. And the parameters were set up here in parameters. And lastly, the last report is not used suppliers. Here you can see the query in design view. And this was the criteria. So after this date, any supplier which has not been used, and as you can see, the report returns 4 suppliers, and that is the quick explanation of all my reports. Here we can look at them one more time as the final version. And lastly, I would just like to say my relationships were made beforehand in Visio, which made it very easy here to link them to each other. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.